Hey, what's up, viewers and Israel fan? Patrick bringing to video, and this is episode 6 of Adventure Week of ours, and today's verse comes out of Proverbs 3, verse 5 through 6, and it reads, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight." And that's that verse means. So this morning, let's get into it. It's time for another Royal Rangers recap, and we're going to go to Isaiah 55. There were a lot of verses shared, but I'm only going to share one today. Isaiah 55:3 says, "Give ear and come to me. Listen, that you may live. I will make an everlasting covenant with you. My faithful love promised to David." And that's all for the verse portion of that Bible study last night. Now, we continue talking about practicing the presence. And in case you guys are new, this practicing the presence study is based off a book by Frank Loudback called Letters by a Modern Mystic. And it's a really cool book. If you've never heard it before, I recommend you look it up. So these are just a few excerpts from his story, Letters by a Modern Mystic. And here's one of them. This is a starting point. And I think it's dialogue. I'm not sure. But this is a starting point. It reads, "2 years ago, a profound dissatisfaction led me." That's the first one. That was his starting point. The next one is willing. "Yesterday and today I have made a new adventure which is not easy to express. I am feeling God in each movement by an act of will, willing that he shall direct these fingers that now strike the typewriter, willing that he shall pour through my steps as I walk, willing that he shall direct my words as I speak, and my very jaws as I eat." And basically, whenever Loudback was alive, he didn't have computers like we do now. He had a typewriter, and that's how people typed and stuff. So this is the willing part of it. The next one is, and let me take a drink break also while I'm looking for it. Here it is. "A mind bent. It is exactly that moment by moment, every walking let me try this again. "It is exactly that moment by moment, every walking moment, surrender, responsiveness, obedience, sensitiveness, pliability, lost in his love, that I now have the mind bent to explore with all my might." Here's a little fun fact. One of the words in this actually is familiar to an old hymn that we sometimes sing at church, and you guys probably know which one it is. "Lost in his love, moment by moment, every walking moment, lost in his love." And by the way, that was from the song "Blessed Assurance." This is the continuous inner conversation with God. And it reads, "I feel simply carried along each hour, doing my part in a plan which is far beyond myself. This sense of cooperation with God in little things is what so astonishes me, for I never have felt it this way before. I need something and turn around to find it waiting for me. I must work, to be sure, but there is a God working along with me. To know this gives a sense of security and assurance for the future, which is also new to my life. I seem to have to make sure of only one thing now, and every other thing takes care of itself. Or I prefer to say what is more true. God takes care of all the rest. My part is to live with this hour a continuous inner conversation with God, an imperfect responsiveness to his will, to make this hour gloriously rich. This seems to be all I need think about." And that was continuous inner conversation with God. I'm gonna read this again. This is off A Mind Bent. This was from, to all you just joining in, I'm reading excerpts from Frank Loudback's book, Letters by a Modern Mystic, which we read last night in Bible study at church. So this is a mind bent. "It is exactly that moment by moment, every walking moment, surrender, responsiveness, obedience, sensitiveness, pliability, lost in his love, that I now have the mind bent to explore with all my might. And there is also, I'm not going to read that continuous inner conversation with God again, but if you guys never read this book, Letters by a Modern Mystic by Frank Lodback, I definitely recommend it. I never read it. I didn't read it yet, but I definitely will. I will definitely will get my head in it, and not really, like, do some book tasting and see how this feels, or see how the book is, because I know Rob read it, and this was one of the reasons, why we had this study about the practicing the presence, and also people were able to share what they wrote down in their prayer journals, whether it be their phone or their internet or their journal. But anyhow, that's all for the Royal Rangers recap. And right before I let you guys go this morning, I just want to leave you with a verse today. And the verse for today, here it is. And the verse for today is Matthew 5:14 says, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden." And that's going to do it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Till next time we meet again, viewers, in every way, God's way is always the best way.